Hey everyone, welcome to your deep dive. Today we're all about helping you sidestep some seriously common entrepreneurial pitfalls. We're diving into this insightful piece called Common Mistakes to Avoid as an Entrepreneur.
Right.
And trust me, it is jam-packed with useful stuff.
It really is.
Yeah.
Think of it as a roadmap, to help you navigate those tricky early stages of building a business.
Exactly, and they waste no time jumping right into it.
Yeah.
Mistake number one, lack of vision and planning.
Yeah,
They really hammered this point home, didn't they?
absolutely. It's like setting off on a cross-country road trip without a map or a destination in mind.
Okay.
You might eventually get somewhere,
Sure.
but it's going to be a whole lot of wasted time and wrong turns along the way.
Oof, I can already feel the stress of that.
Yeah.
So having a clear vision is like setting that destination.
Yes.
And the plan is your roadmap.
Precisely. Your vision is your North Star. It's what gets you excited about this whole thing.
Right.
And the plan is the how, those concrete steps you'll take to get there.
Okay, that's super helpful. All right, let's talk about mistake number two, underestimating cash flow. Now, full disclosure, cash flow always sounded a bit intimidating to me when I first started out,
Yeah.
but this piece highlights just how crucial it is.
It's like the oxygen that keeps your business alive, even more so than profit in the early stages.
Interesting.
A lot of entrepreneurs confuse the two.
Can you break that down for us? Because I think it's easy to assume that profit equals cash flow, but it sounds like that's not always the case.
Exactly. Let's say you land a massive order for your product, right? Huge win.
Okay.
You're feeling incredibly profitable.
Right.
But what if your client has net 60 payment terms?
Net 60. For those of us who are new to this, what exactly does that mean?
It means they have 60 days to pay you after you deliver the goods. So while you've made the sale and it looks good on paper,
Right.
you haven't actually seen that cash yet. Even while you've got bills to pay, now your suppliers, your team, the rent.
Yeah, of course.
That's where that cash flow crunch can really get you.
Wow. That's a really eye-opening example. So even if you're making sales and technically profitable, you can still run into trouble if you don't have that cash on hand
Yes.
to cover those immediate costs.
Exactly. Cash flow is king. All right, ready for mistake number 3.
Hit me with it.
This one's a classic, and I bet many listeners have fallen into this trap, trying to do everything yourself.
Oh, 100%. Especially when you're just starting out. You're the CEO, the marketer, the customer service rep, all rolled into one.
Yeah.
I've been there.
It's so tempting to think you can handle it all, especially when you're so passionate about your business.
Right.
But as the piece points out, spreading yourself too thin can lead to burnout and ultimately hinder your growth.
Makes sense. What's that saying?
Okay.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why the piece really emphasizes delegation. You simply can't be the best at everything. Identify your strengths, the areas where you truly shine, and focus your energy there. Then delegate the rest.
So working smarter, not harder. That brings us to a whole bunch of other mistakes, and to make sure we've got time to unpack them, let's shift gears a bit and do a rapid-fire round. Ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. Mistake number 4, ignoring market research. I loved how they called this a surprisingly common mistake. Why do you think that is?
It's easy to get so caught up in our own ideas that we forget to even see if there's an audience for it.
It's like that saying, we fall in love with the solution before we even understand the problem.
Right, exactly. And that's where market research comes in.
Yeah.
It's about validating your assumptions, understanding your target audience, making sure there's a real need for what you're offering.
So don't skip that crucial step.
Yeah.
All right. Mistake number 5, not prioritizing customer experience. This one really resonates with me because I'm a firm believer that happy customers are the best marketing you can have.
They're like your walking, talking testimonials.
Mm-hmm.
The piece really highlights how a positive customer experience can make or break your business, especially in the age of online reviews and social media.
It's true. One bad review can spread like wildfire. What are some key things entrepreneurs should focus on when it comes to customer experience?
It's all about exceeding expectations.
Oh.
Think about going above and beyond at every touch point, from the first interaction a customer has with your brand to the post-sale follow-up.
It's about building those lasting relationships, not just making a quick sell.
Precisely. Okay, moving on to mistake number 6, a lack of adaptability. The business world is constantly evolving, and if you're not willing to adapt, you risk getting left behind. This one actually reminded me of a story.
Ooh, I love a good story. Lay it on us.
So back in the early days of the internet, there was this company called Blockbuster Video. They were like the kings of the video rental industry with stores all over the
I
country.
remember Blockbuster, yeah.
But then along came this little startup called Netflix offering movie rentals by mail. Blockbuster had a chance to adapt, to embrace this new technology. But They didn't.
Wow.
They underestimated Netflix, and we all know how that story ended.
Wow, Blockbuster. That's a blast from the past. It's a stark reminder that even the biggest giants can fall if they fail to adapt.
Exactly. The takeaway here is to stay agile, be open to new ideas, and don't be afraid to pivot your business model if needed.
Love it. Adapt or become obsolete.
Right.
All right, mistake number 7, fear of failure. This one's a biggie, and it's something that holds so many people back from pursuing their entrepreneurial dreams.
It's natural to fear failure, but the piece makes a crucial point. Failure is inevitable.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's part of the process.
Yeah.
The key is to reframe how we view failure.
Instead of seeing it as a dead end, see it as a stepping stone.
Exactly. Each failure is a learning opportunity, a chance to kind of course correct and come back stronger.
So embrace the stumbles.
All right, mistake number 8, poor time management. Ugh, this one gets me every time. There are never enough hours in the day.
Tell me about it. The piece offers some great tips for improving time management, and one of the biggest ones is prioritization. You know?
It's about identifying those tasks that are actually going to move the needle in your business.
And focusing your energy there.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to delegate or outsource tasks that are outside your zone of genius.
Delegation is key. Okay, last but not least, mistake number 9, not asking for help.
This one really resonated with me because I used to be terrible at asking for help. I thought I had to do everything myself. But the truth is, building a successful business is a team effort.
It takes a village. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to reach out to mentors, advisors, fellow entrepreneurs, or even friends and family for support.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about 9 common mistakes entrepreneurs make, and we've touched on some important strategies for avoiding them.
And if you recall at the beginning of our rapid-fire round, you asked why ignoring market research was such a surprisingly common mistake. Well, I think it ties into a fascinating thread that runs through all of these mistakes. Many of them stem from not having a solid system in place.
Ooh, systems thinking. That's something you mentioned earlier, and I've been wanting to dive deeper into it. Can you elaborate on that?
Of course. Think of it this way. A system is essentially a set of interconnected parts that work together to achieve a common goal. When you apply this concept to your business, it's about creating clear processes and structures for everything you do.
So instead of approaching each task or challenge in isolation, you're thinking about how it fits into the bigger picture of your business.
Exactly. It's about creating a well-oiled machine where all the parts work together smoothly. For example, a robust financial system can help you stay on top of your cash flow. Clear communication systems can enhance your customer experience.
And a well-defined delegation system can prevent you from becoming the bottleneck.
Precisely. Systems thinking is all about creating a more efficient, effective, and ultimately more successful business.
It's like having a framework in place that can help you avoid or at least mitigate those common mistakes.
Exactly. It provides a structure and a roadmap for your entrepreneurial journey.
This has been incredibly insightful. I feel like I'm walking away with not just a list of mistakes to avoid, but a whole new mindset for approaching entrepreneurship.
I'm glad to hear that. It's not just about avoiding individual mistakes in a vacuum. It's about developing that systems thinking approach, understanding how all the pieces of your business fit together, and creating a solid foundation for sustainable growth.
Beautifully said. This has been an amazing deep dive into the world of entrepreneurship. A huge thank you to our expert for sharing such valuable insights.
The pleasure was all mine.
You know, you mentioned cash flow earlier, and this piece really stressed its importance. Do you have any practical tips for our listeners on how to get a better handle on their cash flow? It feels like one of those things that can easily spiral out of control if you're not careful.
Absolutely. And you're right, it's often overlooked, especially in all that excitement of launching a new venture. One of the most important things is to get really, really clear on your numbers. Track every dollar coming in and going out. No more guessing games with your bank account.
Out with those shoe boxes full of receipts, in with the spreadsheets.
Exactly. You can use accounting software spreadsheets, whatever works best for you. But the key is to have a system for tracking your income and expenses meticulously.
Makes sense. What else?
So once you have a handle on your current financial picture, it's time to look ahead. Create a cash flow forecast. This means projecting your income and expenses for the coming weeks, months, or even quarters.
So you're not caught off guard when that tax bill or an unexpected expense pops up?
Exactly. And finally, and this one's so important, build a cash reserve. Think of it as your rainy day fund. Having that extra cushion can make all the difference if sales slow down or you face an unexpected expense.
Those are super practical tips. Track forecast and build that reserve. Got it. Now let's talk about delegation. This piece really emphasizes it, but I know it can be a tough one for entrepreneurs to actually put into practice. Any advice on how to effectively delegate without losing control?
I get it. Letting go can be hard, but it's so essential for growth. A good starting point is to identify your strengths and weaknesses. What are the tasks that light you up, the things you're truly amazing at? Focus your energy there. Then look at the tasks that drain you, the things that bog you down or take you away from your zone of genius. Those are prime candidates for delegation.
Delegate the things you're not good at or just don't enjoy doing. It frees up your time and energy to focus on what you excel at.
Precisely. Find people who are great at those things and let them shine.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation. I feel like I'm walking away with not just a list of mistakes to avoid, but a whole new mindset for approaching entrepreneurship.
I'm glad to hear that. It's not just about avoiding individual mistakes in a vacuum. It's about developing that systems thinking approach, understanding how all the pieces of your business fit together, and creating a solid foundation for sustainable growth.
Beautifully said. This has been an amazing deep dive into the world of entrepreneurship. Huge thank you to our expert for sharing such valuable insights.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to all our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey. We'll be back next time with another deep dive into a topic that matters to you. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep crushing it.